When you elevate a girl to an exalted status, treating her as if she's the ultimate reward, something shifts in her perception. She starts to think, wait, I'm the one being sought after here. I can ease up, I don't need to put in as much effort, and I have choices. This change often leads to a gradual decline in her interest in you. In this discussion, we'll explore how to reverse that dynamic, so she begins to see you as the one worth pursuing. I'm Stoic approach to life, and one thing is certain. Whenever you treat a woman as if she's on a higher level than you, she instinctively begins to view you as beneath her. It's simply human nature. So, how do you become the one she sees as the prize? The reality is, just as you want to be with someone you consider a catch, so does she. Many guys mistakenly believe that by treating her like royalty, they'll win her over. But the truth is, everyone wants to be with someone they feel is worth the effort. If she perceives herself as the prize, then she assumes you're not. Both of you can't be the prize in her mind, and she desires to be with someone she sees as a challenge to win over. That's what romance means to her, the thrill of pursuing and winning over someone she considers valuable. So how do you position yourself as that person? Here are 5 strategies to establish yourself as the prize, and the first is rooted in belief. It's the unshakable conviction that you are indeed the prize. This can be difficult for many men, especially if they think she's more attractive, more social, or has a better life. But we've all seen the guy who isn't wealthy, isn't the best looking, yet carries an unyielding belief that he's the one worth chasing. And when he does, others, including women, tend to believe it too. On the flip side, I've coached men who are objectively attractive, have great jobs, and are personable, yet women often lose interest in them. Why? Because they have a tendency to place women on a pedestal, believing the woman is the prize. And the moment she senses that, her interest in you starts to fade. This is the mindset you need to change. Back in college, I had a friend named Mike who had this mantra: if you think you're the man and you carry yourself like the man, others will see you as the man. And once they see you as the man, you actually become the man. The same principle applies when it comes to being the prize in a relationship. If you truly believe you're the prize, you'll naturally start behaving that way. When you do, women will begin to treat you as the prize, and eventually, that's exactly what you'll become. It's a cycle: believing, acting, and becoming. But it all starts with that unwavering belief in yourself. Now, how do you embody this belief when you're with a woman, without outright stating, "I'm the prize"? Simply telling someone something doesn't make it true in their eyes. They need to come to that conclusion on their own. When you act like the prize, she'll start to see it for herself. So, how do you act like the prize? That brings us to the next point: stopping the chase for validation. You need to put an end to seeking validation. When 2 people interact, there's always one who tries harder, and that person usually holds less power. In any encounter, there's a validation vacuum, where one person seeks to gain approval from the other. If you're not trying to impress her, she'll feel the need to fill that void by seeking validation from you. It's human nature. When one stops chasing, the other starts. So what does it mean to stop chasing validation? It's about letting go of the need to impress her. Don't let your mind wander into thoughts like, what can I say that will make her see me in a better light? Whether it's mentioning your job, your promotion, the fancy car you drive, or the vacations you take, these are all attempts to gain her approval. Even trying too hard to be funny or entertaining is just another way of seeking validation. When you do this, you're playing the role of the performer, while she's the audience you're trying to win over. But here's the thing: women actually prefer to be in the position of winning you over. They want you to be the slightly elusive audience, the one who isn't easily impressed. They want to feel like they have to work a little to gain your approval. So let her take on that role. It's the one she feels more comfortable in. Remember, it's always better to show rather than tell. Instead of talking about your adventurous trip to South America or your latest job promotion, focus on embodying the traits those experiences represent. Show her through your actions, not your words, that you're the kind of person who lives an exciting, fulfilling life. When you stop trying to prove your worth, she'll start recognizing it on her own. If you're telling her about your new job, what you're really trying to do is show her that you're a leader, someone who excels at what they do. But people believe something far more when they experience it firsthand. Instead of talking about how adventurous you are, be adventurous with her. Instead of claiming to be a leader at work, take the lead in your interactions with her. Suggest plans, make confident decisions, and set the tone. When you do this, she'll naturally come to the conclusion, this guy is a leader. The same goes for adventure. If you're in a dull situation, Don't just talk about your past escapades. Suggest something exciting right then and there. Showing her these qualities through action is much more convincing than merely telling her about them, which can come off as an attempt to impress. Another crucial aspect of not seeking validation is avoiding over-explanation. When we value someone's opinion too much, we tend to justify ourselves. For instance, if you're not entirely satisfied with your job, you might find yourself saying, "I'm just doing this for now until something better comes along." Or, if you're feeling out of shape during the holidays, you might say, "I'm usually in better shape, but I've just let myself go a bit." These explanations reveal that you're seeking approval and that their opinion matters a lot to you. To reverse this dynamic, you need to stop chasing validation. When you refrain from justifying or explaining yourself, you leave a space, a validation vacuum, that she will instinctively want to fill. Instead of you seeking her approval, she'll begin seeking yours. The third aspect of positioning yourself as the prize is to be the decision maker. This is something many guys struggle to grasp, especially when they're meeting women and trying to keep their interest. A lot of guys end up losing a woman's interest after a date or two, and it's often because they make her feel like she's the prize. Once a woman feels like she's on a pedestal, she realizes she has options, and no one wants to be with someone who places them too high up. Many men are frustrated with getting ghosted or losing a woman's interest after a few dates, but women feel just as frustrated. They go on dates, meet guys who don't follow up, or who ghost them after a brief encounter. In her mind, those men were the prize, so if you start treating her like she's the prize, it feels off to her. Instead, you need to shift your mindset. Don't automatically see her as girlfriend material just because she seems attractive. Approach the situation with a mindset of curiosity. She seems cool, and I want to get to know her better, but I'm not sure what I want yet. This makes you the decision maker. To demonstrate this mindset in action, you should practice what I call next-level deep validation and curiosity. This involves showing genuine interest before offering any validation. For instance, if a woman tells you she's a lawyer, the usual reaction is to shower her with compliments about how impressive that is. But what if she became a lawyer due to family pressure and it's not something she's passionate about? In that case, your praise would mean nothing. Instead, ask her what led her to choose law, dig deeper, and learn more about her motivations. This approach not only makes her feel understood, but also positions you as someone who isn't easily impressed. For example, if she says she loves history, keep going deeper. Ask what sparked her interest in history, or if she had any particular historical events or figures that fascinated her as a child. This line of questioning prompts her to think more deeply about her own choices, and in doing so, she begins to see you as someone she needs to impress. Another effective tactic is to ask her for a favor. It might seem counterintuitive, but people tend to like others more when they do them a favor. This concept, known as effort justification, means that when someone invests effort in helping you, their brain justifies it by increasing their positive feelings towards you. For example, if she mentions she's good at video editing, ask her to create a short tutorial for you. This subtle favor makes her think, "Why am I doing this?" And the answer she lands on is that she likes you. Lastly, setting and communicating standards is crucial. I once had an experience with a dentist that perfectly illustrates this point. While shopping around for cosmetic work, I encountered various dentists who were overly accommodating, almost desperate for my business. But one dentist stood out because he had strict standards. If I was more than 5 minutes late, I had to reschedule. When I tried to rush him through the consultation, he calmly informed me that if I didn't have time to listen to his explanation, we weren't a good fit. His price was higher than others, but his confidence and refusal to compromise made me choose him. He communicated that he was the prize, and that's exactly how you should approach dating. In relationships, it's important to set your own standards and communicate them clearly. Just like the dentist, when you show that you value yourself and your time, and aren't afraid to walk away if someone doesn't meet your standards, you naturally become the prize. Women, like anyone, are drawn to people who know their worth and aren't desperate for approval. By being the decision maker, asking for small favors, and maintaining high standards, you position yourself as someone who is worth pursuing. In addition to asking for favors, it's essential to set and communicate your standards clearly. For example, if you're supposed to meet her for dinner and she suggests downgrading it to lunch, stand firm in your preferences. Politely suggest rescheduling for a night when she's available for dinner instead. This signals that you're not willing to compromise on your standards just to see her. which can make you appear more desirable in her eyes. If you're wondering how to develop the attitude and charisma to truly embody the prize, it's all about perception. Being the prize is not about your looks, job, or any external factors. It's about how you present yourself and how others perceive you. This transformation is achievable through three key elements: social power, status, and charisma. These traits can be cultivated by consistently demonstrating high-value behaviors and avoiding common low-value traits. Additionally, it's important to be aware of prize tests that women might subconsciously use to assess whether you truly see yourself as the prize. For instance, if she tries to downgrade your plans or acts wishy-washy about commitments, handle it with confidence and decisiveness. Communicate your standards clearly, and don't be afraid to walk away if she doesn't meet them. This not only reinforces your value, but also shifts the power dynamic in your favor. Finally, your reputation plays a significant role in how you're perceived, especially in social circles. A good reputation can open doors, while a bad one can close them just as quickly. It's crucial to manage how others talk about you, particularly in environments like the workplace, where a single negative comment can undermine all your efforts. When you communicate from a position of status, you're not just reacting to the moment. You're strategically shaping how others see you. This involves knowing when to be assertive, when to show vulnerability, and when to set boundaries. By mastering these skills, you can effectively control the narrative around your interactions and ensure that you're always seen as the prize. Thanks as always for watching, and always remember to keep embracing a stoic approach to life.